Good afternoon. I'm Q Zach Fazakli of the Engineers, also known as the Sappers. It's very feasible that you will find throughout your military career you need to be ready to be deployed to be involved in rescue work, be it in a civilian or a military capacity. I'm going to show you a knot that is often used in rescue work. If you cannot tie it correctly or not able to tie it at all, it could result in serious injury or potential death to yourselves, but more importantly, to the death or injury of your comrades or other personnel. The title of the lesson is Tying a Bowline. Tying a bowline. If everybody now looks under the seats, just check you've got a piece of cordage. Please don't touch it. You'll get a chance to play with it in a minute. Now the cordage is made up of fibres, and some of these are small fibres that will rub off onto your hands during the lesson. So please ensure at no point do you rub your eyes, and ensure you wash your hands at the end of the lesson. When you're tying the rope, there is a risk of maybe the end hitting yourself or people around you. So please be aware of that potential hazard. And also, if you pass the cordage through your hands too quickly, you may cause a friction burn. So be wary of that. In the very, very unlikely event that I pass the rope too quickly through my hands and set myself on fire, Neil, if you can take control of the situation. But if I could advise you, before you evacuate everyone, if you can please put me out. That's the least I can ask. Has anybody got any injuries? Not just hand injuries, but lower limb injuries, because I may be asking you to do little scenarios later on. Has anyone got any previous knowledge of tying the bowline? No? Is anybody left-handed? And that makes you better than all of us, does it? Superior. Yeah, much superior or? Much. That aside, it's up to you. You can either mirror me, so what I do with my right hand, you do with your left hand, or you can try and use the same hands that I do. Find what's best suitable for you. If it isn't working, I'll come across and assist you and help you where it's needed. Happy with that? Yeah. If you've got any questions throughout the lesson, wait for the relevant pauses, get my attention, and I'll answer them there and then. There isn't a requirement to take notes because it's a practical lesson, but there will be a practical test at the end. Has anybody got any questions? The object of the lesson is by the end of it, you'll be able to tie a bowline in the classroom with the ropes provided in accordance with Volume 1, Pamphlet 2, Military Engineering. So that by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to tie a bowline in the classroom with the ropes provided in accordance with Military Engineering, Volume 1, Pamphlet 2. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. As I've already stated, the knot I'm going to show you is a bowline, and is often used in rescue work. When tied correctly, it forms a non-slip loop that is strong enough to be used to raise and lower personnel or equipment. Parts I would like to point out is the first one is the standing end. The standing end is the end that is anchored either at a fixed point or by somebody using it to raise and lower personnel or equipment. Another part is the running end. The running end is the end that is predominantly used to do the work when tying the knot, and it also assists in creating friction to form the non-slip loop. Here we have the loop, which will go around the personnel or the equipment, and I'll show you that in a minute. And also, point to note, the final point is the knot here. When tied correctly, will form the bowline. I've got an assistant. This is how you would have it if you was using it to tie it around personnel. If tied correctly, it's strong enough to be self-supporting of a person. Steve is holding the standing end or the fixed end, and when tied, it should not be so tight as to restrict the breathing. Otherwise, I'm sure you'll agree, that's about as much use as a fat, wet fish. But it's got to be tight enough to be self-supporting. Also, this knot is useful in this situation, but if Steve had a pack on his back, then you need to use a knot such as a bowline on the bite, because otherwise there'll be too much strain on his back and it'd have the adverse effect. Has anybody got any questions so far? Thank you. I'm now going to give you a demonstration on how to tie the bowline. Standing end, that is the bowline side. Everybody happy with that? What I'm going to do now is break it down into its stages so it's easier for you to follow and master the skill. The first thing I did is I put the cordage in my right hand and let it drop to the floor, like this. The next thing I did is I held the end of the running end with my right hand, and approximately 1.5 meters from the running end, I grasped the rope with my left hand and passed it around my body, like this. At this stage, I take the running end over the standing end, but under my left arm, like this. I then bring the running end and my right arm up through the V that has been formed at the front of my well-chiselled belly, like this. I then open the palm of my right hand and place the standing end over the running end and into my right hand, like this. I then grasp the running end with my left hand and bring it through the loop that has been formed on my right wrist, like this. And finally, I remove my right arm from the loop that's been formed on my right wrist, and whilst maintaining grasp of the running end, pull on the standing end to form the non-slip loop, the bowline, like this. Has anybody got any questions? What I'd like you to do then is grab your cordage and stand up in front of me here. I'm just going to reiterate safety again. You will get fibres onto your hands, so please don't rub your eyes in the lesson. And at the end of the lesson, please wash your hands. Be aware of the people around you and make sure the ends of the rope are not going to flap around and hit them or yourself. And also, there is a slight possibility, if you pass the rope through your hands too much, that you will cause yourself friction. So please be aware of that. Any questions? I'll demonstrate it, and then I'll ask you to go to that stage and that stage only. So please don't race ahead. So the first thing I did then is I passed the cordage to my right hand and let it drop to the floor like this. Go that far and that far only. Okay, I notice AJ and Pete, you never said you was left-handed, but you're doing it as a left-hander?
Yeah, I did say left-hander.
Sorry?
I did mention I was left-hander.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Pete, I notice that's it. Put it in your right hand. The next thing is, whilst maintaining it in my right hand at the end of the running end, approximately 1.5 meters from the running end, I grab the rope with my left hand and pass it around my body, like this. Go that far and that far only. Good. The next thing is to take the running end over the standing end, but under the left arm. Like this. Whoa, 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 cool your jets. I'll do it first. Okay, like this. Go that far and that far only. Good. The next thing is to bring the running end up through the V that has been formed in the front of at the front of your body, like this. Go that far and that far only. Next thing, to take or to lift or to open your right hand so the palm is uppermost and place the standing end over the running end and into your right hand, like this. Go that far and that far only. AJ, how are you managing with the opposite? Are you fine with it? Yeah, it's working well for you? Good. Next thing is to grab the running end with your left hand and bring it through the loop that has been formed on your right wrist, like this. Go that far and that far only. Good. And finally, whilst maintaining a grip of the running end with your left hand, gently remove your right hand from the loop and pull on the standing end to form the bowline, like this. Everybody do that. Well done, AJ. What I like about that as well is it's not too tight to restrict breathing, but it's also tight enough to be self-supporting. That's also good, Neil, so well done on that. Excellent, Ian, no problems with that whatsoever. And Pete, that's good as well. Well done. Right, if everybody now would like to coil up the ropes and sit back down, please. What I'd like you to do now, in a minute, is practice your new skill. I'll be going around checking that you're doing it right and to assist you should you need any help. Because at the moment you've only tied it once, so some of you may not have completely grasped it. But I'd like to reiterate safety, which is, please don't rub your eyes with your fingers and ensure you wash your hands at the end of the lesson. Make sure you're not going to injure anybody either side of you or yourself with the ends of the rope. And also ensure that you're not going to give yourself any friction burns. Any questions? Right, stand up, grab your ropes. In your own time, practice tying a bowline. That's very good, Neil. Are you sure you've never tied it before?
No.
That's very good. Well done. And again, you're maintaining the right tightness, so it's not doing restricting breathing, but it's not too loose. I'd like you to undo it and tie it again. Well done, Ian. Are you all right there, Pete?
No, it's not.
That's it. It's just when you shape it, once you've done it, there's a running end, and that is a good bowline. Yeah? If you just undo it and just practice again. There's no rush. Just keep practicing. Practice makes perfect.
Is that right? If I
That is very good.
if I tied it and it was looser, how do I tighten the knot to make it?
You can just manipulate it around to make it tighter, but once you've done it really quick, you might be just as well to undo it and just quickly tie it again. Okay? It's all about undo it and tie it again. Happy, Ian?
Yeah.
If you'd just like to tie me one more, please. Well done, Neil. Good to see. If you call your rope back up and don't tie any more, thank you. That's better. Pete, are you happy now?
Yep.
With how it goes?
Yep.
Good. If you'd just like to undo it and then coil it back up. Well done. Well done, AJ. Once you have tied it though, just a point to note, remembering it's going to be used as a self-supporting knot, to form a loop. So you've got to check, not down here, how tight, if it's the correct tightness, but also around the chest, because eventually, I'm sure you can all appreciate, it will end up going to there. Has anybody got any questions at this point? Right, I'm going to try and now enhance your skill a little bit. Picture the scene. You're home on leave, and a family member says, could you go to the cordage shop and pick me up some cordage? Spookily enough. You go and pick up the desired cordage, and you're going through the village with your friend when you see Granny Smith looking rather upset. You say, what's wrong, Granny Smith? She says, it's my cat, Sapper. He's fallen down the well. Now, Sapper is typical of any sapper. He's dashing, he's charming. He puts the thoughts of others before himself. He thinks nothing of risking his own life to save others, and he's always the first and last out of any conflict situation. Typically, of any sapper, he's worth saving any day of the week. The water's filling up in the well, so speed is of the essence. Your friend has agreed to belay for you, but you need to go down the well with a bowline tied around your waist. So if everyone would like to stand up, not forgetting the safety points. Fibres, please don't rub your eyes because they'll be on your hands. Ensure you wash your hands at the end of the lesson. Be wary of friction burns and make sure you're not going to injure anybody if you just like to spread out whilst tying this knot. Speed is of the essence, so I'd like to see the first person and the last person stood in front of me with a bowline tied correctly. Any questions? Stand by, go. AJ, well done. Everything's there, right tightness, not is tied correctly. Well done. Neil, excellent, well done. Yeah, Ian, that's a good one. Pete, that's a good one. Right tightness, they're not tied correctly, but you just increase the running end slightly. Right, yeah, okay. Thank you for that. I'm not, if you'd like to uncall your ropes, but stay stood, put them in your left hand. I'm not biased in any way. It doesn't matter to me what service wins, but AJ, that was a really good knot. You come first, and it was excellent what you achieved. Okay? Well, you continue through the village, and you see Granny Jones looking rather upset. You say, what's wrong, Granny Jones? She said, it's my cat, Raffy. He's stuck up the first floor ledge. You look up, and Raffy is on the ledge of the first floor. Now, Raffy offers the world's best support in any conflict situation. And anyone who's been involved in land operations should be forever indebted to Raffy for the support he has provided to make our jobs easier. However, he insists that you check in for a flight at least 48 hours before, even if the flight is only an hour long. He always ensures that he gets you to all the dumps in the world that you don't want to get to on time, but always insists that you're at least 2 days late coming home. He always eats cucumber sandwiches, and he will not stay in a hotel with a star rating of less than 5. You dash upstairs, you go onto the ledge, your friend again has agreed to belay for you, but you find there's only enough room for one leg. We still need to save Raffy because of the air support he affords us. So therefore, and speed is of the essence, I would like to see the first and last person stood in front of me with a bowline tied as demonstrated. Any questions? If you'd like to get to start position, like I said, it doesn't matter who wins. I'm not biased to any service, but you've got a bit of a head start there. You happy with? Yeah, you pass it around. Yeah. Do you want a bit of a practice before? Yeah. Okay. I will tell the Adjutant General if you let the service down, but no pressure. Stand by. Go. Stood on one leg. Well done, the Army. Sorry, AJ. Okay, if you'd just like to put your feet down. Pete, I think you just sneaked in. You did it at a good pace, but I think you were just slightly behind the other three, but you did it good. Excellent, well done. Well done, Neil. Well done, Ian. Well done, Pete. Right, you all are developing your skill, and it's really good to see. If you'd just like to undo your cordage, and then roll it up and put it back into your left hand, or right hand in your case, AJ. Dusk is falling, and you're continuing on your journey through the village. And you see a distressed single mother by the river bank. She's very attractive, and you being a single service person think, aye, what's she upset about? You dash to her, and she lets you know that her son has fallen into a fast-flowing river. Being single, and she's single, and you want to impress her, you come up with a cunning plan to save her son. So your friend and you dash along the river bank to get ahead of the young boy in the river to try and assist and rescue him. Again, your friend has agreed to belay for you. You go to as close as you can and stand on a rock on the river bank, but you've only got room again for 1 foot. But this time, it has also gone dark. Speed is still of the essence. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you, as quick as you can, to tie a bowline, stood on one leg, with your eyes closed. When you stood on one leg, if you feel yourself falling over, open your eyes and put your leg down. Please ensure it's the leg that isn't already on the floor, otherwise you'll make like a tree. Timber. Has anybody got any questions? Not forgetting, make sure you don't rub your eyes with the fibres because they'll be on your hands. Wash your hands at the end of the lesson. Make sure you're not going to injure anyone with the ends of the rope, and ensure you're not going to cause any friction burns by passing it through your hands too quickly, even though it is a race. Anybody got any questions? To save the young boy in the fast-flowing river and to impress the single mother, who's very attractive, by the way, I want to see the last person with a bowline tied correctly, as demonstrated, stood on one leg with your eyes closed. Stand by. Go. No cheating. Okay, everybody open your eyes, put it back down. First, second, third, fourth. Still did it in a good speed. That's good. The only thing is with the running end, it needs to be a little bit longer. Yeah, if you remember that for future. Thank you. That's good, Neil. Best one yet, Ian. Well done.
Thanks.
Well done, Pete. Good. You've all tied the knots, and again, you're all concentrating on the right tightness around the chest, which is good to see. If you'd like to undo your cordage and sit back down. Has anybody got any questions at this stage? To summarise the lesson then, I've introduced you to a new knot called the bowline. When tied correctly, it is used to form a non-slip loop used in rescue work to raise and lower personnel or equipment. It shouldn't be tied so tight that it will restrict someone's breathing, and it doesn't lend itself to recovering personnel who have got packs on the back because of the strain it will put on their back. The standing end is the end that is normally the fixed point, and the running end predominantly is the end to tie the knot, and also assists in the friction to form the non-slip loop in conjunction with the bowline knot. The safety, remember the safety, when you're tying this knot you may get fibres on your hand, so please ensure you don't rub your eyes, and make sure you wash your hands at the end of the lesson. Always be wary when tying the knot that you're not going to injure anyone or yourself with the ends of the knots that are flaying around, and don't pass it through your hands too quickly that it results in friction burns. The objective of the lesson was, by the end of it, you'd be able to tie a bowline in the classroom with the ropes provided in accordance with Military Engineering Volume 1 Pamphlet 2. So that by the end of the lesson you'll be able to tie a bowline in the classroom with the ropes provided in accordance with Military Engineering Volume 1 PAM 2. Has anybody got any questions? Right, stand up, grab your cordage. What I'm now going to ask you to do, put it in your left hand please. I'm now going to ask you to, as a test to demonstrate you can tie it. I don't want it to be done as a race, stood on one leg, just on your head or anything like that. Just simply in your own time, tie a bowline. Any questions? In your own time, go on. That's exactly how I want it. Well done, AJ. Well done, Neil. Same with you. That's good, Ian. Thank you. That's good, Pete, but you might want it, or you will need it, to be slightly looser so you're not going to restrict the breathing. Okay? If you'd just like to undo it and just show me again with it a little bit looser, please. Everybody else, undo your ropes, coil them back up and sit back down. That's it. That's better. Good. You're happy with the tightness there? Well done. The link for the lesson is to look forward to taking the knot lesson with me, which is the horse or bend. The reference was Military Engineering Volume 1 Pamphlet 2. Military Engineering Volume 1 Pamphlet 2. Has anybody got any final questions? No? Thank you for your time and your efforts. Well done.